Hello, thank you for joining me on this short video, which is just to introduce you to our new defibrillators and talk through what our responsibilities are as administrators of the system. The system's been supplied by Community Heartbeat and they retain responsibility for servicing it, repairs, replacement if it's lost or damaged or vandalised, and they are also responsible for providing spare parts such as the pads and the batteries. If the pads are used in an emergency, then they're not allowed to be used on a second patient. They have to be replaced. They also retain the responsibility for ensuring that the 999 responders are aware that it is available and it is working. So our responsibilities are to make sure that Community Heartbeat are told we've carried out our checks and yes, it's working. And it's a very simple check and it's a very simple way of making them aware that it is available and working. Now the video, I'm going to take you to the cabinet shortly and I'll show you how to access the cabinet, how to test the equipment, which is very simple. It's one part of it is simply looking at a green flashing light. And then finally I'm going to take you into the WebNOS system, which is the software where we must log on having done a check to make sure that we enter our report saying yes, it's been checked, yes, it is working, and yes, keep it available to the 999 services. So the next part of this is going to be showing you how to access the cabinet. Well, as you can see, here we are outside the Mary Forrian Centre, and here's the entrance to the nursery, and there's the defibrillator on the wall. Now straight away you can see there's a green light on the defibrillator, and that's indicating that there is power on the cabinet. Now the cabinet itself is a charging unit and it's also a heated unit. Full instructions on how to use the defibrillator is obtained by the user by dialing 999 and the ambulance service give them the code. We know the code and I'm going to enter that code now, and we know from what I've told you it is C1267, and then we turn the handle down and the cabinet opens, and what you see now is straight away the defibrillator in its case, and I'm going to take it out and then take it into the Mary Forrian Centre to show you what's actually in the case. So here we are in the Mary Forrian Centre, and here you can see the case, and the first check you can see that we have to be aware of is that flashing green light. That's to indicate that it's done a self-check and there are no faults perceived on the equipment. Now that is a daily check or weekly check at the most, and I'm going to ask the nursery if they'll do that just as they walk by it. Probably I'll ask them every Monday morning if you could just open the cabinet and make sure that that green light's flashing. Before I open the case and show you the other tests, I want to show you what comes with the case. There is a self-generating light, torch, it's battery, without a battery, and in the back of the case there is a small first aid kit. It's important that that's there, with scissors and there's just one or two other bits and pieces, wipes and that, available for the emergency services. The case itself, very hard to open with my painting hands. Right, we'll remove the defibrillator, and it's relatively straightforward on how to use it. But having said that, we will be providing training for people in the community, say at the pub, the fire station, tyre services, etc., and make them aware that it's there, and we're going to have Community Heartbeat come along and deliver training. We can have training for up to 50 people, and it's all included in the price. If you wish to attend, you're more than welcome to do so. All you need to do is make us aware of it, and you can do that by simply emailing Mike Hopkins. Now, the first test I've already shown you is just simply looking at the defibrillator and seeing if this green light is flashing to tell you it's carried out its full functional test. The second test is once a month, at least once a month. You could do this as and when you open the cabinet. You simply press this button and hold it, and it will once again carry out its full test. And in that test, you can tell you the battery status, the pad status of when they expire, and our pads for use on patients expire in 2022. And just some software, etc. So that's simply done by pressing that button, and that is the second part of the test. I'll just show you briefly how it's switched on and what this plug here is for. This is the connection to the pads that are in there, available for the emergency services to use on a patient or for whoever is attending the patient. The 999 service will talk you through how it's used, but failing that,
call for help.
It takes
Follow
you through
instructions to apply pads. Remove clothing from patient's chest.
I'm not going to go through the whole of that.
Locate powering off.
So it's fairly straightforward. It's self-teaching, but I'm not quite sure that you'll be able to do that if you're in an emergency. So I'm going to put this back now, and then I'm going to show you how we report on WebNOS system that everything is functioning okay. As you volunteered to help with the administration of the defibrillator, you'll have seen an email that I sent to Community Heartbeat giving your details, your email, your phone number and your name, and they'll enter that into their system. They're then going to email you with a temporary password, and what you need to do is to generate your own password against that email address. Once you've got that, this type of email is likely to be sent to you, very long-winded. I'm going to show you exactly what it's asking you to do. It's asking you to go into Community Heartbeat's defib.org. That went a little bit quick, but you can see I did a search in Google for defibcheck.org. And having done that search, it comes up here, WebNOS user account. Now, as you've already entered or produced a password and registered it on their system against your email address, you can go into WebNOS user account. I've already used this, and I've asked my computer to remember what my login details are, and you can see here's the email address that I'm using, and there's the password. It's been entered and it's saved, and now all I simply do is say login. And this takes us into the St. Peter's part of the dashboard of WebNOS, and you can see it says straight away Hinckley St. Peter's Roman Catholic Church on the Leicester Road, and it tells you that the next test is due on the 27th of January, and that's a drop dead date. In other words, that's the latest that we can do it by. Now, we should do them more frequent than what we're doing them at the moment. Probably once a week, once a fortnight, we should be sending in a report. How do we send in the report? Well, I've just carried out the check when I was making this video. All I've do is I've gone into the dashboard, and now I click on that picture of the defibrillator. By clicking on the defibrillator picture, it tells me straight away our system is active, its location on a map, and if I scroll down, it gives a summary of the status of the defibrillator. And here you can see the ability that we have to create a lot of different types of reports. And these, some of them are obtaining resupply of pads, new battery for the defibrillator. We can order our training. We can keep training records on there. We notify them if the defibrillator's been deployed. Most of that, and also report a problem. Most of that is going to be managed by the Mary Forrin Centre Committee. All I'm asking you as an administrator that you've volunteered to do is to check the defibrillator on a rotor that I'll produce later, and go in and generate the site check. And this report at site check is generated by simply clicking on the site check button, and you go through and you answer, or by simply clicking against each of these questions against yes or no, and in 99% of the cases it's going to be yes. So, does the defibrillator have a cabinet? Yes. Is the ready indicator status, that's that flashing green light, is that flashing? Yes. I can't do this because I've already done it for today. Are the main pads connected and in date? Well, they are connected and they will be in date if they haven't been used, because I've just shown you that they're in date up until 2022. Is the rescue ready kit with the defibrillator? That is that little first aid kit that I showed you when I took it into the Mary Forrin Centre, and so the answer is yes. And then all you do is you go over here and submit the report. That would have taken probably 10 seconds of your life to do that. And that's it. There is nothing else. When you submit that date will change, and it will go for a month's time from when you've carried out that test and submitted that report. Folks, I hope that's helpful. If it's confused you in any way, or you've got questions that you want answering, please give me a call. It's Mike Reed, 07 853 209 101. That's 07 853 209 101. Thank you. Bye.